Hello, this is the Heavy Revival podcast about all things heavy music. I'm Joe, and this is Rufus.
Oh yeah,
And this episode, we will be reviewing the new album, A New Flesh by Sylosis.
it's the new flesh.
The New Flesh
The
by
new flesh.
Sylosis. And I'm very excited. I think it's a sick album.
It's a very sick album.
So,
Oh yeah. So
that's your bit.
yeah. To begin with, we're going to start as usual with our plugs for the episode. My plug for the episode is going to be Detriment. They're an emerging hardcore band from the UK. They make super beatdowny death metal inspired hardcore. And they're just super sick. Go check them out. You know, they're still pretty small. They play in London and also across the UK very regularly. I've been a fan of them for a little while, been following them for a little while, and yeah, they're just super sick band. Go check them out. They dropped an EP fairly recently, I think, and it's got a couple songs in it that are just so fucking sick. So yeah, go fucking check out Detriment UK.
My plug for the week is a band called Porcelain, and I'm gonna do a side plug for a band called Velvet, and I'll tell you why. So Porcelain are this awesome screamo slash shoegaze band from America, and they're just like the coolest band ever. The lead singer is like the coolest person in the world. But the reason I'm talking about Velvet is because they did a collaboration EP, and every track is like perfection. So Everything But the Girl by Porcelain is definitely the best song on that album, but both bands are worth checking out because if you're into that whole weird cross genre of shoegaze and screamo, then that is the band for you.
Hell yeah.
Sick.
Okay, so as Joe said, the album we're reviewing this week is The New Flesh by Sylosis. It was released earlier this year. I don't know the date.
It was like February.
Something like that, yeah. So not so new flesh anymore.
Give it a rest, mate.
Yeah, this is what they are. This is what you watch for. Yeah. So by the thrash metal band, metalcore, thrashcore, something like that. Band Sylosis. Sylosis has been around for a very long time. I don't have a lot more to say on Sylosis.
They're a cool band. They're fucking sick.
Yeah, they are sick. That's what you need to know.
They share a drummer with Bleed From Within, who are like one of my favorite bands like ever.
Yes,
ever. So
me too.
That's always a pro for me.
Yeah.
Crazy what you were saying earlier about them going on tour together.
Yes.
Wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild.
Go check out if you're in America.
I doubt anyone will be in America watching this. But if you are, for some miracle,
fucking go check it out.
Go watch that dude
die on stage.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even fathom doing that. Metal drumming 2 long sets.
Yeah,
insane.
I did a 2-set show once and it fucking killed me. So
yeah, I've done that. Yeah. It's crazy. How we thought that Joel did 3 sets at Peckham. The first couple.
Yeah, but Joel's inhuman. Joel, if you're seeing this, I love you.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about the pros of this album. My first immediate thought was
we're sitting in the same place.
I feel like Andrew Tate actually stop. I thought as a whole it was very, very fast, and it felt like that's a good thing, by the way. It was very strong. Like it didn't feel weak. It didn't feel like lacking anything. Like I thought that everything was done in a way where it didn't feel like too much. It all felt tasteful. Like especially like the drumming and stuff. Like I'm gonna glaze him so hard, but he is sick because he doesn't do too much, so it doesn't feel like he's trying to fucking just show off the whole time. It feels like he has sick fills, but they're all tasteful. They're not like him doing just like having a wank on the drum kit type thing. But yeah, I thought as a whole the album was like a perfect balance of chaos, but not so much that it was like distasteful.
Yeah. You can tell they're really going more and leaning more into the thrash thing now as well. It's like pretty obvious, you know. I thought this album, just like the general thing they've got going on, like the aesthetics, obviously they've got like an 80s thing going on. I think like if you look at the album cover, if you look at like the synth parts and like the general thematic thing, it's like kind of reminiscent of like an 80s horror movie, I thought. But also just like harking back to that sort of golden era of thrash metal in the 80s. Obviously, with a bit of a metalcore flair, I think it's pretty obvious.
Production-wise,
yeah, production-wise, but also just in terms of like the breakdowns and down-tuned guitars
and it kind of just like the structure of most of the songs. Just it's very metalcore, but I mean, yeah, it didn't. The production wasn't as like raw and like I not careless in a thrash in a good way. Like the way that the thrash metal, like the '80s thrash stuff, is produced is perfect for that kind of thing. But I think if they tried to do that too much, it wouldn't have worked. So
Yeah,
I think the way that they attacked changing the sound worked really well for them because they stayed true to themselves, but also did something that is different. And I thought that was really cool.
yeah. I also think like if a band intentionally tries to produce something badly, it will just sound bad in a bad way instead of
Yeah,
bad in a good way,
yeah,
which is what you have with the thrash stuff. I think they made the right choice in terms of the production because I don't think it takes anything away from like the intensity. I mean, it's still super fast, super fucking like crazy throughout the whole album.
yeah.
So let's talk about the actual meat of of the uh,
Mm.
of the LP.
I'd say the opening was very, very strong. I thought like straight away, just blast beats. Like first 5 seconds, you're hitting blast
Yeah,
beats, and it's like chugs, and it's. I thought that was a really strong way to open the album. I thought I was impressed by the way that they attacked that. I thought, yeah, that was really cool. And that's probably like one of my favorite songs on the whole album is the opening track. I thought it was sick.
it's very good. The opening 4 or 5 tracks I think are all pretty solid.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean the whole album's great, but the opening few tracks are definitely standouts for me.
Mm.
Obviously, as Joe said, the opener, Beneath the Surface, but Erased, I think is the lead single, maybe, or maybe the second one. But it's obviously one of the more popular songs on the album. But there's some album cuts on there that I think are really good. I think I can't remember what the third track is called. Um, I don't. Is it? Oh, All Glory No Valor. That song.
That's sick. I love the
Yeah,
battle chanting like
yeah, yeah,
feel
yeah,
of it. It feels
yeah,
like I'm about to like go off to war in
yeah.
1840 or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think they're really good at like embracing the hardcore thing because like gang
Mm.
vocals, that's something you hear in like a hardcore song, and also their breakdowns are like super hardcore, inspired. I think they lean more into the like actual breakdowns instead of just like the super cinematic deathcore breakdowns that you might see in other metalcore bands.
Mm.
Um,
It feels like the song is actually
yeah,
breaking down,
yeah, exactly.
which is kind of the point.
Yeah, it feels like they're kind of they're not trying to be heavy. I think, which is a
Mm.
lot, which is like a sort of a mire a lot of bands get stuck in nowadays. In the sort of trying to be heavier than everyone else thing. They're kind of just doing their own thing, which is always nice to see. But and obviously it works for them because they're still super fucking heavy and they don't even have to try. So I mean, obviously they're trying to make heavy music, but they're not trying to be heavier than everyone else. It's just something that
Yeah,
comes naturally to them. I think.
I think they're I know what you mean because it doesn't feel like it's like a competition of them saying, well, we've got to be heavier than this band. It just feels like they're doing what they feel fit and it works.
They have a very clear creative direction. I think
Mm.
in the
Yeah,
studio and
absolutely,
in the songwriting process, they've definitely got that down.
100%.
Josh knows what he's doing.
Pick up Josh.
He's a very experienced musician. Yeah, big up Josh. But yeah, they definitely they've got it nailed down to a formula. I think. But yeah, what else? Josh's vocals. I'm just fucking glazing the shit out of Josh, but you did it to the drummer, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Um, Josh's vocals are fucking insane in this album. Some of the best work I've ever heard from him. I always thought, up until now, I thought his vocals were kind of grating. Um, they always sort of made me feel like panicked, especially on maybe I'm just a pussy, right? But like especially on the on a sign of things to come and the other stuff they were releasing around that sort of period when they kind of came back. Um, I always found very just like not unpleasant to listen to, but just very harsh, more harsh than I kind of like. I like more of a controlled growl or scream,
Mm.
But I thought, they sound really, really excellent on this album. There's some fucking crazy highs, which I didn't know he had in his locker, especially on Adorn My Throne. I think there's a section where he does like a fucking crazy fry scream. So yeah,
Mm.
big up Josh for the
And
vocals.
I thought his cleans were strong as well. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
we were saying earlier that the mix we felt that it was like
Yeah,
buried a bit in the mix, but I think with without talking too much about the mix and stuff, just in general, I thought that his cleans were super strong.
Yeah.
And they felt tasteful in the right places. Like on track 2 in the choruses, I thought that worked really well. And then having screams in the verses and the breakdown and stuff.
Yeah. He's done cleans before, but I always thought they were a little bit out of place. But I think it works much better on this album in terms of like the theme they're kind of going for, which is good to see.
He's definitely nailed it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like for that, yeah, he's definitely found the right way to use them instead of just saying like I need to put them in somewhere because why not?
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah, definitely. I thought I really like the guitar solos. I'm a big fan of the Kerry King just fucking molest the whammy bar.
Something's just turned on in my kitchen, and okay, it's turned off again. Carry on.
Yes, I'm a big fan of molesting the whammy bar, is what I was saying. Just fucking like, you know, make it sound like a dying cat. That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
The diaphragms are
fuck
so
it,
strong.
just fuck it up, you know. Yeah, I thought the solos, but also like very technical. Connor's a crazy guitarist. Is his name Connor? I think so.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. The other guitarist is a fucking insane guitar player. Not to take away from the fact that Josh is playing guitar and singing on all of these songs, which is fucking crazy.
This guy glazes gosh.
You glaze the fucking drummer.
Can you blame me?
What can you blame me? Like, yeah, no, I mean, both. I mean, yeah, across the board, great instrumentation, great performances. Yeah.
I thought that solo in the opening track. I keep glazing that song, but like that solo was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the time with metal solos, it's like sometimes it feels like they're trying to write a metal solo and trying to do as much as they can, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like even though it was a crazy fast shreddy solo, like sweep picking, all that stuff, it didn't feel like he was desperate to do that. I feel like he felt, it seemed to me like he was doing it in taste of the song, not because he wanted to show off. I mean, that's a big thing for me, if you can't tell by the nature of this video, is that I hate people that show off. But I didn't feel like he was doing that. It felt right for the song.
Yeah. I think he's very much kind of in his own lane. I think he's doing things because he likes doing them instead of to try and impress people or, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is the main thing, is like, I couldn't give a shit if the solo. I mean, I like that the solos don't feel too much like a big old wanking session.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Talking about wanking and molesting a lot on this episode.
It's something's coming over us today.
Clearly.
Yeah. No, you go.
I don't even know what I was going to say. I was just saying that. Yeah, I thought that the whole instrumental performance was just very tasteful. And the same with the vocals and the melody lines. I thought were really interesting. I didn't think that they were very conventional for that kind of music. I thought a lot of the melodies. I think the melody in track 3 especially was really cool. I thought, it didn't feel like he was sort of following the instrumentals too much. Like it felt he was moving away and then coming back, and it worked really well.
Yeah, there's some funky key changes as well. Like
in
Erased, after the first breakdown, there's like a weird key change. I think it's like literally like up 1 semitone. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot.
My ear keeps popping. That's why I keep.
Oh right, okay. I thought you were like laughing at me.
No.
Okay, cool.
Pop my ear.
Right, fair enough. Yeah, I thought pretty tasteful but also just like I feel like they're really kind of just doing their own thing on this album. Like they're not trying to conform to any sort of set structure. They're just really just making music that they love, which is always great to see. I think it's nice to see artists and bands taking that up as a creative direction instead of sort of just trying to make stuff that appeals to the masses. So yeah, pretty cool.
So should we move on to the cons?
Yes. This album feels long. There's a lot. I mean, it's only 11 tracks, but there's a lot going on. It kind of overstays its welcome for me, maybe just a little bit. But on an 11-track album, that's a little bit like sketchy. Like you can't really.
It's 47 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's 48 minutes, but it feels like an hour. You know?
Which it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but I know what you mean with this album. It felt a bit. Sorry, I'm cleaning my glasses. It did feel like I was kind of waiting for the song to end sometimes, depending
Yeah,
on the song. I thought, yeah, like the first half of the album was super, super strong. Then
yeah.
I wouldn't say it deteriorated completely, but I felt like some of the songs were lacking something
Yeah.
as the album was finishing.
It definitely loses momentum.
Yeah, 100%.
You kind of lose a like. There's like a really strong direction for the first 5 tracks, and it's like hype.
Mm,
You're amped up, and then it kind of tails off a little bit for me.
yeah,
Um, I also thought the mix kind of underrepresented Josh's clean vocals a little bit.
yeah,
They kind of get buried, especially on Erased in the chorus. I feel like, considering that his vocals and the guitars are pretty much in the same register, the mix doesn't really do him justice, or the justice that I think he deserves. Because I think he has great cleans, but I just don't think they come out especially well in terms of the production of this album. Yeah, but otherwise the production is great. Obviously, we've said that
yeah,
already.
absolutely. What my biggest con for me was the song "Everywhere at Once." It I didn't think it was a great song at all. I
No.
thought it sucked. To be fair, I hate to be mean, but it just sounded like Creed, man. And I hate to say it's like if the lead singer of Creed joined a metalcore band, it would never work. And I don't
Yeah,
think it worked on this. I think the vocals on it were just not great. And yeah, the whole track kind of felt like it was trying to be something, and it just wasn't
yeah.
that at
I
all.
think it's just like a weird place to put a really heartfelt song on a
Yeah, it was like
thrash metal
track
album.
9 or something, wasn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
like if you're gonna put that, make it the closer, and also give it a little bit more like volume
Mm.
instead of having it just be a ballad. Which
Yeah.
I'm all for putting a ballad on a metal album. I'm a big fan of that, but like I just don't think it was like executed in the best way.
Yeah.
I thought like I'm sure there's great stuff there that could be like I'm not criticizing the sonic nature of the song itself. I think it sounds fine. I just think it's placed in a really weird place and it's not executed the best way.
Mm.
But it's like, yeah, I thought I thought some of the songs felt a bit formulaic. I think that's why it sort of tails off a bit for me, just because like I mean it's a very like it's a it's an age old thing of like a band loading the first half of an album up with the great songs and then sort of leaving all the crappy ones for the second half. There's not
Yeah.
crappy songs on this album, but there's ones that are noticeably weaker,
Yeah.
which I think are sort of towards the tail end. Um, and I just think like they, like I said earlier about how they've got a great formula for writing songs, which is true. I stand by that, but I also think there's a certain balance that's needed between experimentation and working with what you're good with.
Yeah.
And I already think, maybe they're like thinking they've kind of deviated from their sound or what was their sound a little bit already by like just in general across this album. So maybe to experiment further would be a bit of a reach. But I also think like to a certain extent, you're going to come across better if you the more experimental you are. Like if you just write good songs but experiment them with them more, it's going to end up with a better end product than if you just play it safe. I think.
Yeah. I
Um,
definitely think that there was a better way to attack the experimental aspect of it. I agree with you completely. It's like I love it when bands change their sound completely. I mean, I'm a big fan of bands completely changing their sound to like something completely opposing, but only if it's done well. And I'd say like 70% of the time it's not done well in general.
yeah,
Um, but I think that if some more time and care was taken into
yeah.
working out those particular songs and figuring out if they are really fitting for that album, I thought that it could have been done so much better. It sort of felt like with those tracks, it felt like they rushed to get them finished.
Yeah, it felt like there was great ideas that weren't done proper
Yeah,
justice in the sort of end product. Um, but yeah, I don't know. But it's kind of sad. I thought there was 14 songs on this album, and I looked and there was 11,
mm,
I don't know where I got 14 from, but it just feels like after track 7, I'm just bored.
mm,
It's got to change. I think it's got to vary up a little bit. Give me something different. Give me something fresh. I guess that's probably why they put Everything or Everywhere. Is it called Everywhere or Everything at Once? I don't know. That
Everywhere,
one.
I think.
Everything, whatever that song is, the slow one. Whatever. I think that's why they put it, because it's like a fresh thing. But I think it's like kind of should be earlier. Maybe a bit more of a palate cleanser for like the last 4 songs or something. Something like that. That's probably the way I would have done it. I mean, I don't know jack shit about making an album, so don't take my advice. But I that's the way I would have done it personally.
Yeah. I mean, either that or I'd have it as the closer, like we said.
Yes, yeah. That's also
I think
true.
that, I mean, that's what Zenith did so well with having that song at the end with the acoustic intro, and it was a very emotional song. I thought that's what they did so well, is having that right at the end, because I feel like if that came earlier or like way earlier in the album, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. I felt like listening to the album front to back, it felt like a nice way to end it. And I feel like that song, I might have had a different opinion on it if it was placed somewhere differently. I mean, I still think it sucks, but I feel like I would have appreciated the ideas behind it more if it had better placement.
Yeah. All right, we're right back on the Bleed from Within glance then. This is the Bleed from Within podcast.
Yeah. Scott, if you've seen this, love you, man.
Yeah. He won't see this, but
yeah,
good effort.
A good man.
He didn't answer my DM on Instagram. Craig did though. So shout out to Craig Goins for answering my DM on what string gauge you used on Fracture. Yeah. The others haven't answered my DMs.
I love how you've DM'd them all when you called me the Bleed from Within Grazer.
No, well, I mean, it's yeah, you're actually right. I can't hold that. I've not DM'd them all. I've DM'd 3 of them.
Okay.
And one of them replied.
Nice.
So that's like 33%. I'm happy with that.
No, yeah, I'd take that as well.
But also, Ali, if there is some way that you see this, I need to know if the click sound at the end of Sovereign is actually the sound of you opening a can of beer. Because I watched a documentary about the making of Shrine, and there's a scene where Nolly says that he's going to put the sound of you opening a beer can in one of the songs on Shrine, and I can't find anything about it online. So I need closure. I need you to tell me if that's actually.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm like fairly sure, because it's just so out of place. I originally thought it was like a click. This is like, we're deviating completely from the subject matter, but who fucking cares?
Podcast.
It sounds like they've left the click in the mix, but it only happens once in like the entire song, and it's like really in a really strange place. So I'm just like fingers crossed that I have actually found like the golden ticket, and that is the sound of Ali opening a can of beer. So yeah. Anyway, rant over. What are we giving this album out of 10?
I'd say. Yeah. Hang on. This might take a minute.
Hang on. Is it there?
In your hand?
No, I'm good. Oh, how do we do this? Oh, no, hang on. Oh, yeah. Very professional. Fucking hell, man. Yeah.
Well, just hold it.
Yeah, I'm going to hold it. Very, very professional podcast we've got going on here. As you can see, we're extremely experienced, and we know what we're doing here.
Oh, yeah.
We don't mess around.
We're not in.
This is serious business, yeah.
With a big old pink pillow in between us.
This is a beautiful pillow.
It's a lovely pillow.
I love it.
Shout out pillow. What are we giving the album?
I'm going to give it a 7.5.
No, what? That's valid. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get behind that. I'd say I'm pretty much in agreement with you. I think overall, I think if it didn't dip so much at the end, I could probably give it upwards of an 8. But because of that reason, I'd probably lean towards like a 7.1 or 2.
Very specific.
Yeah.
I was going on the 0.5s, but if you want to do decimals.
Oh well, then fine. I'll give it a 7.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Cool. So yeah, that was our review of The New Flesh by Sylosis.
The Not So New Flesh.
The Not So New Flesh.
This episode was meant to happen a while ago, but we did busy guys.
We're busy guys.
That's why we're doing this album review now.
Yes. The slightly aging flesh. Yeah. So yeah, 7 or 7.5 out of 10, depending on whether you ask me. Let's just fucking round it up and give it a 7. Fucking
round it up.
Round it down.
You know what? Yeah, I'm happy with that.
That's 7 out of 10. We're giving it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, that's solid. I think that's good. I'd be over the moon if some blokes from Forest Hill, I shouldn't say that on YouTube, if some blokes from not Forest Hill said...
Anywhere except Forest Hill.
said, oh yeah, I like this album, I'm giving it a 7, and it's my album, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
So you know what? Don't take it too personally. That just those few songs towards the end were just a bit worse than the other ones. But other than that,
dude, they're not gonna fucking see this. Like, don't take it too personally. What the fuck are you talking about?
You never know what these guys get up to in their free time.
That's true. Like a couple of the bands we plugged in the past have noticed us, which is always something.
Also, if I was Sylosis, I'd want to know what people were saying about me. I'd be googling myself on YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTubing myself.
Yeah.
Finding out what's going on in the opinions of the world.
Mm.
But you know what? That's just me.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, we've been the Heavy Revival. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Heavy Revival, and also subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify and Amazon Music, and check out. What's the Detriment? Check out Detriment UK and Porcelain, and the other one? Velvet. Check out Velvet as well. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very, very much, and we'll see you hopefully sooner than this time.
Yes. Sorry for the delay, by the way. We didn't address that.
Yeah. Apologies.
It won't take as long this time, but thank you.
Appreciate it. See you later.